The man takes a deep drag from his cigarette. He looks at the skyscraper in front of him, then he bends down. From the backpack at his feet, he pulls out a fully equipped M4. He aims at the building across the street. He pulls the trigger. He quickly gathers his equipment and picks up the backpack. He moves behind a car. He stuffs the weapon into the backpack. He pours gasoline over it. He lights the backpack on fire, destroying the evidence. Amid the panic of nearby pedestrians, the man calmly leaves the scene. The man's name is Jack. After retiring from the military, he began working security at a bank. He has a beautiful wife. Their family life is happy and peaceful. But at this very moment, during a medical checkup, his wife is diagnosed with brain cancer. Although the surgery later goes smoothly, the doctor still tells the couple that the chances of recurrence are very high. If they want to fully control the disease, she must regularly receive an expensive medication. In order to pay for his wife's treatment, Jack agreed without hesitation. But when they tried to get reimbursed for the medical bills, the insurance company informed them that his wife's medical expenses had already reached the policy limit and no further costs would be covered. With no other option, Jack had to put the expenses on his credit card. Fortunately, he still had some savings. When he left the military, he had received a substantial severance payment. Hoping to earn more money, Jack entrusted that severance money to a fund manager. The investor promised Jack that it was a guaranteed, risk-free investment. Now Jack felt the time had come. He decided to sell off the fund to raise money for his wife's life-saving treatment. Unfortunately, a global financial crisis broke out at that exact time. The investor told Jack that the money he had put in was now almost completely wiped out. Not only that, he now owed the bank $60,000. Only then did Jack realize he had fallen straight into the trap the investor had set. But in order to deal with the situation, he knew he had to stay calm. The next day, Jack went to see a lawyer, seeking advice on how to resolve his current situation. However, the lawyer immediately demanded a $10,000 fee. Fortunately, Jack had a few close friends, and they quickly helped him gather the $10,000. Jack originally wanted the lawyer to sue the fund company and recover his money, but the lawyer told him that getting his investment back would be extremely difficult. He could, however, negotiate on Jack's behalf so that the $60,000 owed to the bank would not have to be repaid. On one side was his hard-earned savings. On the other side was the $60,000 debt that could be dismissed. For a moment, Jack did not know which choice to make. He decided to consult a prosecutor about his situation. After waiting the entire day, he finally met the prosecutor. But the prosecutor claimed to be busy and refused to deal with him. With no other option, Jack called the lawyer, ready to give up his investment in exchange for canceling the bank debt, but the call was never answered. All he could do was wait for the lawyer to respond. Instead of hearing from the lawyer, he received a payment demand from the bank. If Jack failed to repay in time, the bank would repossess his house. Furious, Jack called the lawyer again. To his surprise, the lawyer turned the blame on him, accusing him of not making a decision sooner, and sarcastically suggesting that he might as well accept the $60,000 debt. Hearing this, Jack could no longer contain his anger. His wife tried to comfort him, but in his rage, Jack slammed the door and left. As soon as he returned to work, he was called into his supervisor's office. Because of Jack's debt situation, his supervisor decided to terminate him. The bank could not employ someone with serious debt issues in an armored transport security position. Jack understood the reasoning. Fortunately, his supervisor was decent enough to give him a substantial severance payment before he left. With the money in hand, Jack went to the train station to head home. But what he did not know was that his wife, back at home, had made a decision that he would never be able to forgive himself for. Jack returns home and sees a note his wife left on the table. A wave of dread crashes over him. He rushes upstairs, pulls back the blanket, and collapses to the floor in shock. His wife is lying in a pool of blood. She's already gone. Jack grabs her hand and breaks down in tears. Earlier that day, burdened by her illness and not wanting to pressure her husband, she chose to take her own life. Before dying, she carefully organized everything in the house, even laid out her husband's clothes. Then she lay down on the bed and quietly waited for her life to fade away. What she didn't realize was that her death would become the greatest blow of all. After the funeral, Jack seems like a completely different man. He stays home all day, drowning himself in alcohol. He cuts off his friends. Sometimes he goes out just to clear his head. Life suddenly has no meaning anymore. But one night, everything changes. On his way home, Jack spots the prosecutor who once refused to help him, laughing and drinking with friends, living it up like nothing ever happened. The thought of his wife's death makes rage surge through him instantly. When the prosecutor leaves alone, Jack steps in front of him, demanding answers. But instead, the prosecutor mocks him and even insults his wife. Fury explodes. Jack shoves him hard. At that exact moment, a taxi speeds by and sends the prosecutor flying. Seeing no one around, Jack turns into an alley and quickly disappears. The next day, the prosecutor's death makes the news, but Jack feels no guilt. Instead, something darker begins to grow inside him. The people who took his money indirectly killed his wife, so he decides to wipe them out, one by one. After thinking it through again and again, Jack puts his plan into action. First, he finds a way to gather the investor's personal information and photos. Then he pulls out the fully equipped M4 he once used in the military, takes his wife's photo with him, and checks into a motel on the outskirts of town. Next, he tracks down a local black market arms dealer. Using the severance money his former boss gave him, he buys 2 pistols and 2 grenades. Step 3. Sharpen his aim. Even after years out of the service, Jack hasn't lost his touch. Everything is ready. The revenge begins. He sets his first target on the lawyer. Clearly, he has already planned everything. Jack hides in an underground parking garage. When the lawyer finally comes out, without saying a single word, Jack decisively fires and kills him. Just like that, the first target is taken out. After that, Jack's revenge spirals out of control. Soon, several more targets fall under his gun. The news keeps reporting mysterious killings one after another. Watching the reports, Jack feels no guilt at all. But the owner of the investment company becomes terrified after seeing the news. He immediately tells his secretary to arrange more bodyguards for him. But Jack's revenge is far from over. One day, disguised as a janitor, he successfully infiltrates the investment company. He carefully studies the layout inside the building, seeing the place still thriving and full of activity, and thinking about everything he has gone through. Jack feels the flames of rage burning inside him once again. Just as he heads downstairs to leave, he runs into the very investor who ruined his life. The man has already made a comeback and started scamming people all over again. At that moment, an idea suddenly comes to Jack. That night, Jack calls the investor. He claims that he won $50,000 playing cards and asks if he has any good investment opportunities. They agree to meet the next day outside the investment company building. But the next day, Jack never shows up for the meeting. Instead, he goes to the building across the street. His final revenge has begun. Jack walks to the window and lights a cigarette. He looks at the building across the street. Then he bends down and takes a fully equipped M4 from the backpack at his feet. He raises the rifle and begins searching for his target. At that moment, the investor arrives at the bottom of the building, just as they had agreed. Without hesitation, Jack fires and shoots him dead. Then, he shifts the rifle and aims at the employees of the investment company. He fires without hesitation, because Jack believes that none of the people inside that company are innocent. He knows they have ruined countless families. As people fall one after another under his gun, Jack feels no emotion at all. He empties the entire magazine in one breath. After that, he stuffs the rifle into the backpack, pours gasoline over it, and destroys the evidence. At this moment, everyone is focused on the shooting outside, and no one notices Jack. Just like that, Jack calmly walks into the investment company building. He meets no resistance at all. Jack reaches the floor where the investment company offices are located. Without hesitation, he unleashes the bullets from his gun. One life after another disappears in panic. Still not satisfied, Jack pulls the pins on 2 grenades and throws them out. After dealing with them, Jack heads to the boss's office, but the moment he steps inside, a bodyguard shoots and wounds him. Jack immediately takes him down. He forces all of the boss's secretaries out of the office. Then he takes off his coat and sits down in the boss's chair. Jack begins listing the boss's crimes one by one. But instead of being nervous, the boss mocks Jack and says,
"That's capitalism. That's competition in a capitalist society. That's how the cream always rises to the top. That's how the strong survive and the weak die off."
After hearing this, Jack doesn't lose his temper. Instead, he places the gun on the table and proposes a fair duel. They will count to 3 and shoot at the same time. But the boss doesn't play fair. Before Jack even reaches 3, the boss raises his gun at 2.
"You're dead."
Unfortunately for him, the gun is empty. At the same time, a SWAT team arrives on the floor. The moment the boss turns around, he is shot dead on the spot. That was Jack's plan all along. He knew the boss would grab the gun, so he calculated the SWAT team's arrival time using the building's surveillance system. As expected, the boss is treated as the terrorist. Meanwhile, Jack is seen as a hostage and clears himself of suspicion. Just as Jack is about to leave, a hand rests on his shoulder. It's his old friend. His friend has already guessed why Jack is here, but he says nothing and simply walks Jack out of the building. Maybe this is what real brotherhood looks like. When you're broke, I'll help you. When you're in trouble, I've got your back. Even if you don't talk often, the bond between brothers runs deep.